Trump stirred the crowd up by saying Congressman Ron Paul could not win the Republican presidential nomination. Mr. Paul replied.
So I've won 11 times. So I don't know whether he has earned the, the right to criticize somebody for not winning an election when I don't know how many elections he's won so far himself.
By the way, Ron Paul cannot get elected. I'm sorry to tell you.
I don't think it's the truth. The reason we have elections is because we don't know who might win. And you're now talking about cutting the budget. Ron Paul's been talking about that for years. His time may have come.
But Paul is basically an isolationist. He doesn't want to get involved in anything overseas, even though we have a worldwide economy. And he wants to abolish Department of Education, the IRS.
Yes. You know, and what do you mean? We have a worldwide economy. That doesn't mean government needs to try to manage it.
But he's not going to win because most people they don't want that big a change.
Well, even if it's true that he couldn't win.
Are you willing to bet me? I will bet you Ron Paul doesn't win one primary if he runs. Not one.
Ron Paul is going to destroy this party if they keep, if this is nuts on parade. The media loves this guy as nuts on parade. They want the whole Republican Party to be identified with the kookiness of Ron Paul. Hey!
Fox News Sunday's Chris Wallace is going to be moderating tonight's GOP debate in Iowa. And during a pre-debate interview with Neil Cavuto, he answered some questions about the Republican candidates. So just listen to Wallace's response when he was asked about Ron Paul.
If Ron Paul wins here, what then?
Well, the Ron Paul people are not going to like my saying this, but to a certain degree it will discredit the Iowa caucuses because, rightly or wrongly, I think most of the Republican establishment thinks he's not going to end up as the nominee, so therefore Iowa won't count. And
Wait, what? So if Paul wins, then Iowa's influence just goes out the window? It doesn't count? I mean, this is exactly what's wrong with our media these days. They pick and choose who gets to go to the debates. They pick and choose who gets more coverage. And if they don't like somebody that the people might actually choose, then it just doesn't count. That is ludicrous.
Again, thank you for calling the San Francisco Republican Party.
No one answering the phone, eh? Well, you can screen this call. I'm making a YouTube video out of the straw poll that was canceled. Apparently there were a lot of Ron Paul people there, and the chairman of the party got nervous and decided to underhandedly and probably in violation of some sort of rule decided to cancel the straw poll, which is a neat trick. But this is going to be on the internet, and you guys are really looking awful. But hey, what can we say about the Republican Party these days? So keep canceling straw polls. That's what I recommend.
Now I'm supposed to worry. Ron Paul is in. Okay, big deal. He has about as less of a chance than I do to be president.
Why are they so scared of Ron Paul?
Well, Ron Paul makes a lot of sense, and more people ought to listen to him.
It's time we quit this. It's time. It's trillions of dollars we're spending on these wars. You've heard the war propaganda that is liable to lead us into the sixth war, and I worry about that position. Iran does not have an air force that can come here. They can't even make enough gasoline for themselves.
As the race for the Republican nomination heats up, there is one candidate who has been largely ignored by the mainstream media. Shame on us. He deserves more attention from us than he's getting.
We're in absolute panic mode because they've looked at the numbers and they know Ron Paul is the real front runner in the 2012 election.
We have a top tier. It is Mitt Romney, Rick Perry, and Michelle Bachmann.
We have a new top tier, and it's Perry, Mitt Romney, and Bachmann. There's now a top tier in this race, at least for now, of Romney, Perry, and Bachmann.
I think that's fair to say. Really fair to say? You're not forgetting, I don't know, anyone, say an ideologically consistent 12-term congressman who came within less than 200 votes of winning the straw poll? Isn't anyone going to give that gentleman a little vote?
When Ron Paul ran for the Republican nomination in 2008, he talked about the economy imploding.
the untenable nature of the national debt, the eventual destruction of our currency, and a limited role for government. In the 4 years since then, a lot of the things Ron Paul warned us about have happened. We're deeper in debt, a lot deeper. The dollar is worth quite a bit less, and the country is more divided maybe than at any time since the Civil War.
Pretending Ron Paul doesn't exist for some reason has been going on for weeks.
A new Gallup survey showing Rick Perry running second to Mitt Romney, knocking down Iowa favorite Michelle Bachmann to fourth.
Behind who? The media does remember Ron Paul. It's only to reassure themselves how there's no need to remember Ron Paul.
Right now, live, right next to the bus behind us, Ron Paul is speaking.
And guess what, Paul? If you get video of Sarah Palin or get a soundbite from her, bring that back to us. You can hold the Ron Paul stuff.
If ever a presidential hopeful embodied the notion of personal freedom and fidelity to the Constitution, it would be Texas Republican Congressman Ron Paul.
He's gotten more money from the military than all the other Republicans combined, and he's gotten more than Obama got. Think about that.
You set the record. In the history of American politics, nobody has ever raised more money on a single day than you.
Gosh.